Unexpected inheritance. Dr. Alexis Chen sighed heavily as she stared at the rejection letter on her tablet. Another grant proposal denied. At this rate, her research into quantum entanglement communication would never get off the ground. The irony wasn't lost on her. Here she was, trying to revolutionize faster-than-light communication, and she couldn't even get her foot in the door of the scientific community. The sound of her apartment's door chime startled her from her brooding. Alexis wasn't expecting anyone, and her circle of friends had shrunk considerably since she'd thrown herself into her work. Curious and a little wary, she approached the door and opened it. A tall, lanky man in a crisp suit stood before her, tablet in hand. "Dr. Alexis Chen," he inquired, his voice clipped and professional. "Yes, that's me," Alexis replied, confusion evident in her tone. "My name is Marcus Holloway. I represent the estate of Dr. Victor Emerson. May I come in? There's a rather important matter we need to discuss." Alexis felt her heart skip a beat. Dr. Emerson had been her mentor during her graduate studies, a brilliant but eccentric physicist who'd vanished without a trace nearly 5 years ago. She'd always suspected there was more to his disappearance than the official story of a tragic hiking accident. Of course," she stammered, stepping aside to let Marcus enter. "Please have a seat. Can I get you anything? Water? Coffee?" Marcus shook his head as he settled onto her worn couch. "No, thank you. This won't take long." He tapped at his tablet, then looked up at Alexis with an unreadable expression. Dr. Emerson's will was quite clear. In the event of his death or disappearance, after a period of 5 years, certain assets were to be transferred to you. Alexis blinked in surprise. "Assets? I don't understand. Victor and I were close, but I never expected." Marcus held up a hand to quiet her. "Dr. Emerson left you 2 things. The first is a substantial trust fund to continue your research. The second," he paused, seeming to choose his words carefully, "the second is a bit more unusual." With that, he reached into his briefcase and pulled out a small metallic cube about the size of a Rubik's Cube. Its surface shimmered with an iridescent sheen that seemed to shift and move as Alexis stared at it. "What is it?" she asked, reaching out tentatively to touch it. As her fingers brushed the surface, the cube hummed to life. A soft, blue glow emanated from intricate patterns etched into its sides. Suddenly, a beam of light shot out from the top, coalescing into a holographic figure. Alexis gasped. The hologram was clearly not human. The being was tall and slender, with 4 arms and a head that tapered to a point. Its skin was a pale lavender, and large, almond-shaped eyes regarded her with unmistakable intelligence. "Greetings, Alexis Chen," the hologram spoke, its voice melodic and gender-neutral. "I am ARIA, Artificial Resonance Intelligence Algorithm. Dr. Emerson created me to be your guide and companion." Alexis turned to Marcus, her eyes wide with shock. "Is this some kind of joke?" Marcus shook his head, his expression grave. "I assure you, Dr. Chen, this is very real and very classified. By accepting this inheritance, you're agreeing to certain responsibilities." Aria's hologram flickered slightly. "Perhaps I can explain better, Alexis. Dr. Emerson didn't disappear. He made first contact with an alien species known as the Valorians. I am a hybrid creation, Valorian technology infused with human-designed AI. The QPC is but a small part of a much larger artifact, one that could revolutionize human understanding of the universe." Alexis felt like her head was spinning. Aliens, secret artifacts. It was like something out of one of the sci-fi novels she devoured as a kid. "But why me?" she managed to ask. Aria's expression softened, somehow conveying warmth despite its alien features. "Dr. Emerson always spoke highly of your intellect and your drive. He believed you had the potential to bridge the gap between human and Valorian science. But more importantly, he trusted you." Marcus cleared his throat. "Dr. Chen, I need your decision. Do you accept this inheritance and all that comes with it? I must warn you, once you say yes, there's no going back. Your life will never be the same. Alexis looked from Marcus to OIA, her mind racing. Part of her wanted to laugh this off as an elaborate prank, but a larger part, the part that had always dreamed of making a real difference in the world, that had pursued science with a passion bordering on obsession, that part was practically screaming at her to say yes. She took a deep breath. I accept. Marcus nodded solemnly. Very well. OEA will fill you in on the details. I'll be in touch with more information about the trust fund. He stood, heading for the door. Good luck, Dr. Chen. I have a feeling you're going to need it. As the door closed behind Marcus, Alexis turned back to OIA. All right, she said, trying to keep her voice steady. Tell me everything. Over the next few hours, OIA explained the situation in greater detail. The Valorians were an advanced species that had been observing Earth for centuries. They had made contact with a select few humans, including Dr. Emerson, to prepare for a more widespread revelation of their existence. The cube, OIA explained, was a key component of a device called the resonance engine. When completed, it could potentially allow for instantaneous communication and even transportation across vast distances of space. Your work on quantum entanglement communication is more relevant than you know, OIA said. It's one of the reasons Dr. Emerson chose you. With some refinement, your theories could be the missing link in completing the resonance engine. Alexis's mind was reeling with the possibilities. This is incredible. But why all the secrecy? Why not reveal this to the world? Aria's expression grew serious. Not all species in the galaxy are as benevolent as the Valorians. There are those who would stop at nothing to possess this technology. Until the resonance engine is complete and Earth is ready to join the galactic community, secrecy is paramount. As if on cue, a loud crash came from outside Alex's apartment. Aria's hologram flickered urgently. We have company. Hostile forces have tracked the activation of the cube. We need to leave now. Alexis barely had time to grab a tablet and a small bag before AOIA instructed her to touch a specific pattern on the cube. As her fingers made contact, she felt a strange tingling sensation throughout her body. In a flash of blue light, Alexis' apartment disappeared. When her vision cleared, she found herself in a sleek, metallic room unlike anything she'd ever seen. Welcome aboard the Stardom, sir. Aria's voice came from all around her. I'm sorry for the abrupt departure, but it was necessary. We're currently in orbit around Earth. Alexis stumbled to a nearby window, her jaw dropping as she saw the blue marble of Earth floating in the void of space. Dr. Chen, Aria said, its tone both excited and grave. Your real work begins now. The fate of Earth, and perhaps the entire galaxy, may rest in your hands. As Alexis stared out at her home planet, a mix of terror and exhilaration coursed through her veins. Whatever came next, she knew her life would never be the same. The adventure of a lifetime was just beginning. Cosmic chess. The Stardancer hummed softly as it drifted through Earth's orbit. Alexis stood transfixed at the viewing portal, her mind still struggling to process the radical shift her life had taken in mere hours. The serene beauty of her home planet below stood in stark contrast to the chaos unfolding around her. Dr. Chen, Aria's voice broke through her reverie. I apologize for the abruptness of our departure, but we have urgent matters to discuss. Alexis turned from the window, facing the holographic alien. Right, she said, taking a deep breath. I guess aliens are real was just the appetizer. What's the main course? Aria's expression shifted, approximating what Alexis interpreted as concern. The hostile forces that attacked your apartment are known as the Voidborn. They're a collective of anarchist species bent on destabilizing galactic order. Somehow, they've learned of the resonance engine's existence. And let me guess, Alexis said, a wry smile on her face. They want it for themselves. Precisely, Aoia confirmed. But their goals are far more sinister than mere possession. The Voidborns seek to weaponize the resonance engine, to tear rifts in the fabric of space-time itself. Alexis felt a chill run down her spine. That sounds apocalyptic. Indeed, which is why we must complete the engine before they can steal it. Dr. Chen, are you familiar with the concept of quantum chess? The non sequitur caught Alexis off guard. Vaguely. It's a version of chess that incorporates quantum mechanics, right? AI nodded. A simplified analogy, but yes. The conflict we're engaged in is similar. Multiple factions, moving across a multidimensional board where each action has far-reaching consequences across parallel realities. A holographic display sprang to life in the center of the room. It showed a complex, three-dimensional chessboard with pieces Alexis didn't recognize. This is a Valorian strategic simulator, AOIO explained. It will help us anticipate and counter the Voidborn's moves. Your expertise in quantum mechanics will be crucial in operating it. Alexis approached the hologram, her scientific curiosity piqued despite the gravity of the situation. Fascinating. But AOIA, I'm a theorist, not a military strategist. How am I supposed to outmaneuver an alien threat? You underestimate yourself, Dr. Chen. Your ability to see patterns and connections others miss is precisely why Dr. Emerson chose you. Besides, AOIA added, its tone lightening slightly, you won't be alone. As if on cue, a section of the wall slid open, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside was a sleek, form-fitting suit that seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly energy. This is a Valorian Neuralink suit, AOIA said. It will enhance your cognitive abilities and allow you to interface directly with the ship's systems, and with me. Alexis hesitated only a moment before stepping forward to examine the suit. As her fingers brushed the material, she felt a subtle vibration, almost as if the suit was alive. Okay, she said, her voice a mix of trepidation and excitement. Let's do this. Donning the Neuralink suit was an experience unlike any other. As the material sealed seamlessly around her body, Alexis felt a rush of sensation. It was as if her consciousness had expanded, extending beyond the confines of her physical form. Neural synchronization complete, AOIA's voice echoed in her mind. How do you feel, Dr. Chen? Like I can see sound and hear colors, Alexis replied, marveling at the new sensations flooding her awareness. Is this how Valorians perceive the world? In a manner of speaking, the suit translates multidimensional stimuli into something your human brain can comprehend. Now, let's begin your training. Over the next few hours, Alexis immersed herself in the cosmic chess simulator. With AOIA's guidance, she learned to manipulate quantum probabilities, steering possible futures towards more favorable outcomes. It was exhilarating and terrifying in equal measure. As they worked, AOIA filled her in on more details of the galactic political landscape. The Valorians were part of a coalition of species known as the Harmonic Concordat, dedicated to preserving balance in the universe. The Voidborn, in contrast, believed that true evolution could only come through chaos and destruction. The resonance engine, AOIA explained, could tip the scales decisively in either direction. In the right hands, it could usher in an era of unprecedented peace and cooperation. In the wrong hands, it could tear reality apart, Alexis finished grimly. No pressure or anything. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. The holographic chessboard flickered, showing multiple red icons converging on their position. Voidborn vessels approaching, AOIA announced, its voice urgent. They found us faster than anticipated. Alexis felt panic rising in her chest, but the Neuralink suit seemed to dampen her fear, allowing her to think clearly. Options? She asked, surprised at the steadiness in her voice. We can't outrun them, AOIA said. Our best chance is to use the planetary ring system of Sechen to evade and counterattack. Alexis nodded, her mind already racing through quantum probabilities. Agreed, but we can do one better. If we can lure them into this sector, she highlighted a region of the holographic display, we can use the gravitational flux to create a temporal eddy. Aria's holographic eyes widened. A bold strategy, Dr. Chen. Risky, but if successful, it could buy us the time we need to complete the next phase of the resonance engine. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a pawn to protect the queen, Alexis said, a small smile playing on her lips. Let's do it. The Stardancer surged forward, plunging into the swirling rings of Saturn. Behind them, a fleet of angular, black ships gave chase, weapons charging with ominous energy. Alexis stood at the ship's control interface, her hands dancing over holographic controls as if she'd been piloting starships all her life. Through her neural link with ARIA and the ship, she could feel every vibration, every subtle shift in the quantum field around them. As they wove through chunks of ice and rock, Alexis called out course corrections, her mind calculating trajectories faster than should have been humanly possible. The pursuing Voidborn ships were gaining, but that was part of the plan. Now, Alexis shouted as they reached the designated coordinates. She slammed her palm down on a pulsing red icon. The Stardancer released a burst of tachyon particles, precisely calibrated to interact with the gravitational anomalies in this region of the rings. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, reality itself seemed to hiccup. A swirling vortex of distorted space-time erupted behind them, catching the Voidborn fleet off guard. Ships twisted and stretched as they were caught in the temporal eddy, some blinking out of existence entirely. It worked, Alexis exclaimed, exhilaration coursing through her. Remarkable, Aria's voice held a note of genuine awe. You've bought us valuable time, Dr. Chen, but our work is far from over. As the Stardancer sped away from Saturn, leaving the trapped Voidborn ships behind, Alexis felt a mix of pride and trepidation. She'd just outwitted an alien armada, but she knew this was only the beginning. So, she said, turning to Aria's hologram, what's our next move in this cosmic chess game? Aria's form shimmered, resolving into a holographic representation of the Milky Way. A pulsing light indicated their position near Saturn, while other points of light blinked across the galactic map. We need to gather the remaining components of the resonance engine, Aria explained. They were scattered across the galaxy for safekeeping. Our next destination is the forest world of Arborea, home to the Chlorovians, a plant-based sentient species. Alexis raised an eyebrow. Sentient plants? Now I've heard everything. The universe is full of wonders, Dr. Chen. The Chlorovians are master bioengineers. They've been safeguarding a crucial organic compute R component of the engine. We'll need their expertise to integrate it successfully. As the Stardancer plotted a course for Arborea, Alexis felt a surge of anticipation. The thrill of scientific discovery, the promise of encountering new life forms, and the weight of their mission all mingled in her mind. Aria, she said, a thought occurring to her. You said the Voidborn found us faster than anticipated. How? Is there a leak in the harmonic concordat? The A's hologram flickered, its expression grave. An astute observation, Dr. Chen. The possibility of a traitor within our ranks is troubling. We must proceed with caution. Alexis nodded, her mind already racing with the implications. As the Stardancer jumped to faster-than-light speed, she couldn't shake the feeling that their game of cosmic chess was about to become far more complicated. The stars streaked by outside the viewing portal, each one a potential harbor for wonders or dangers yet unknown. Alexis Chen, once a struggling physicist, now found herself at the center of a galactic conflict, with the fate of multiple civilizations hanging in the balance. As they hurtled towards Arborea and the next piece of the resonance engine puzzle, Alexis made a silent vow. She would see this through, not just for Earth, but for all the beings across the cosmos whose lives hung in the balance. The cosmic chess game had only just begun, and Alexis was determined to play it through to the end. The symphonic spores of Arborea. The star dancer emerged from hyperspace in a dazzling burst of light, revealing a world unlike any Alexis had ever seen. Arborea hung before them, a vibrant sphere swirling with every shade of green imaginable, punctuated by bursts of bioluminescent color that pulsed like a living heartbeat. "Welcome to Arborea," Aroea's voice resonated through the ship. "Home of the Chlorovians and our next crucial mission." Alexis marveled at the sight, her scientific mind already racing with questions. "It's beautiful," she breathed. "But how do we find the resonance engine component on an entire planet of sentient plants?" Aerea's hologram materialized beside her, a knowing glint in its multifaceted eyes. "We listen," it said simply. Before Alexis could ask for clarification, the ship began its descent into Arborea's atmosphere. As they broke through the cloud cover, Alexis gasped. The entire planet seemed to be one vast, interconnected forest. Trees the size of skyscrapers stretched as far as the eye could see, their branches intertwining to form a living canopy. "Prepare yourself, Dr. Chen," Aoia warned. "Chlorovian biology is quite different from what you're accustomed to. The Neuralink suit will help, but the experience may still be overwhelming." As the star dancer touched down in a small clearing, Alexis felt a strange vibration through the soles of her feet. It was as if the entire planet was humming a complex, ever-changing melody. The ship's hatch opened, and Alexis stepped out onto Arborean soil. Immediately, her senses were assaulted by a riot of stimuli. The air was thick, with spores that glowed and danced in complex patterns. Each breath filled her lungs with a symphony of scents, some familiar, others utterly alien. What is this?" Alexis asked, her voice filled with wonder. "The Chlorovians communicate through a combination of bioluminescent signals, pheromones, and sonic vibrations," Aoia explained. "What you're experiencing is their version of a greeting." Suddenly, the ground before them began to shift and ripple. A form rose from the soil, shaping itself into a vaguely humanoid figure composed of intricately woven vines, leaves, and flowers. Two glowing orbs served as eyes, regarding Alexis with unmistakable intelligence. "Greetings, Starchild," a voice echoed in Alexis' mind, rich and resonant like a creaking of ancient trees. "I am Thalux, overseer of the Arborean Collective. We have long awaited your arrival." Alexis bowed slightly, hoping it was the right gesture. "Thank you for receiving us, Overseer Thalux. I'm Dr. Alexis Chen, and this is ARIA. We've come seeking the harmonic seed," Thalux finished, his form rippling with pulses of bioluminescence. "Yes, we have safeguarded it for many cycles. But I'm afraid your arrival has set greater events in motion. The cosmic pollination approaches." Auria's hologram flickered with concern. The cosmic pollination. But that's just a myth, a story told to seedlings. Thalux's form seemed to sigh, releasing a cloud of shimmering spores. "All myths have roots in truth, young Auria. The Voidborn's actions have accelerated the great cycle. The universe seeks balance, and the harmonic seed is key to that balance." Alexis looked between Auria and Thalux, confusion evident on her face. "I'm sorry, but I'm lost. What's the cosmic pollination, and how does it relate to the resonance engine?" Thalux extended a vine-like appendage, gently touching Alexis's forehead. In an instant, her mind was flooded with visions of cosmic scale. She saw galaxies blooming like flowers, neutron stars pulsing like bioluminescent seeds, and vast networks of energy connecting everything in the universe. "The cosmic pollination," Thalux explained as the visions faded, "is a grand cycle of universal renewal. It is a time when the barriers between dimensions thin, allowing for the exchange of energy and information on a cosmic scale. The resonance engine, what you call it, is both a key and a catalyst for this process." Alexis's scientific mind raced with the implications. So the engine isn't just a communication device or a power source. It's a tool for cosmic evolution. "Precisely," Aoia chimed in. its holographic form pulsing with excitement. This explains why the Voidborn are so desperate to obtain it. In the wrong hands, the engine could disrupt the entire cycle, potentially unraveling the fabric of reality itself. Thulux's form rustled in agreement. The harmonic seed we've protected is but one component. To complete the engine and guide the pollination, you must undergo the synthesis ritual. Are you prepared, Starchild? Once begun, there is no turning back. Alexis felt the weight of the universe pressing down on her. She was a scientist, trained to question, to doubt. But standing here, on an alien world, with the fate of reality itself hanging in the balance, she knew there was only one choice. "I'm ready," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. Thulux's form seemed to smile, his bioluminescent eyes pulsing warmly. "Then let us begin. AOEA, you too must participate. The union of organic and artificial intelligence is crucial for what's to come." The forest around them came alive, trees shifting to form a natural amphitheater. The ground beneath their feet began to glow with intricate fractal patterns. From the heart of a nearby ancient tree, a small object floated towards them, a seed that shimmered with an inner light, pulsing in time with the planet's heartbeat. "The harmonic seed," Thallux intoned, "imbued with the collective wisdom of countless civilizations. Dr. Chen, you must consume it. AOEA, you must synchronize with its quantum frequency. Together, you will become the living vessel for the next stage of the resonance engine." Alexis took the seed with trembling hands. It felt warm, alive with potential. She looked at AOIA, whose holographic form nodded encouragingly. "Here goes nothing," Alexis murmured, placing the seed on her tongue. The moment she swallowed, the world exploded into light and sound. Alexis felt her consciousness expanding, merging with AOIA, with Thallux, with the entire living network of Arborea. She saw the cosmic web of reality, the delicate balance of forces that held the universe together. And she understood. The resonance engine wasn't just a device. It was a key to unlocking the next stage of cosmic evolution. And she, Alexis Chen, once a struggling physicist from Earth, was now its guardian and guide. As the visions faded and Alexis found herself back in the Arborean clearing, she felt fundamentally changed. Knowledge and power thrummed through her veins, and she could sense Eloi's presence in her mind, a comforting ally in the vastness of her new awareness. "The synthesis is complete," Thallux announced, his form glowing with approval. "You are now the harmonic conduit, the bridge between worlds and guardian of a cosmic cycle." Alexis stood, feeling the power of the harmonic seed coursing through her. "What now?" she asked, her voice resonating with newfound authority. "Now," Aoia's voice echoed in her mind, "we prepare for the final confrontation. The Voidborn will sense the change. They will come for us with everything they have." Thallux's form began to sink back into the forest floor. "Go, harmonic conduit. Arborea will stand with you when the time comes. The fate of all realities rests in your hands." As Alexis and AOIA made their way back to the Stardancer, the forest sang around them, a cosmic symphony of life and possibility. The next stage of their journey awaited, and with it, the ultimate battle for the future of the universe. Alexis Chen, the harmonic conduit, lifted her gaze to the star-filled sky above Arborea. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she was ready to face them. The cosmic chess game had entered its final, thrilling stages, and she intended to see it through to the end. Quantum-entangled destinies. As the Stardancer broke free of Arborea's emerald atmosphere, Alexis felt the universe pulse around her in newfound harmony. The harmonic seed's power coursed through her veins, intertwining her consciousness with AOIA's in ways she never thought possible. Our next destination, AOIA's voice resonated within Alexis's mind, is the Nexus Forge. It's a massive space station at the heart of a quantum singularity, where the laws of physics bend and twist. Alexis nodded, her eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. The perfect place to assemble the final components of the resonance engine. As they plotted their course, a priority transmission crackled through the ship's comms. A familiar face materialized on the view screen: Marcus Holloway, the lawyer who had first introduced Alexis to this cosmic adventure. Dr. Chen. Marcus's voice was urgent, his usually composed demeanor shaken. Earth is under attack. The Voidborn have launched a full-scale invasion. They're after something called the ancestral key. Does that mean anything to you? Alexis and Aoya exchanged a startled glance. The ancestral key, Aoya explained, is a mythical artifact said to be the first tool used by ancient beings to shape reality itself. But its existence was never confirmed. Until now, Alexis finished, her mind racing. Marcus, where exactly are the Voidborn concentrating their attack? They focused on a remote area in the Gobi Desert. Marcus replied, confusion evident in his voice. There's nothing there but sand and rocks. Alexis felt a jolt of recognition. That's where Victor and I first theorized quantum entanglement communication. He must have hidden the key there all along. We cannot ignore this, Aoya cautioned. If the Voidborn obtain the ancestral key before we complete the resonance engine, the consequences could be catastrophic. Alexis clenched her fists, feeling the weight of two worlds upon her shoulders. Set a course for Earth, she commanded. It's time we brought this fight home. The Stardancer's quantum drive hummed to life, propelling them across vast stretches of space in the blink of an eye. As they approached Earth, Alexis gasped at the sight before her. The planet's orbit was swarming with Voidborn ships, their dark, angular forms a stark contrast to the blue marble below. We'll never break through their blockade, Alexis muttered, her mind furiously calculating possibilities. Perhaps we don't have to, Aoya suggested, a hint of mischief in its tone. Dr. Chen, do you recall your thesis on quantum tunneling? A slow smile spread across Alexis's face. Aoya, you're a genius. If we can generate a large enough quantum field, we could phase the entire ship through their defenses, Aoya finished. But the energy requirements would be enormous. Alexis placed her hand on the ship's control panel, feeling the harmonic seed's power surge within her. Let's see what this new bond of ours can really do. As the Voidborn ships closed in, the Stardancer began to glow with an otherworldly light. Alexis felt herself become one with the ship, with Aoya, with the very fabric of spacetime itself. With a thought, she initiated the quantum tunneling sequence. The universe seemed to hiccup. For a fraction of a second that felt like an eternity, Alexis experienced every possible reality simultaneously. Then, with a flash of light, the Stardancer rematerialized in Earth's atmosphere, bypassing the Voidborn blockade entirely. Impossible. A Voidborn transmission crackled through their comms. All ships converge on the anomaly. But Alexis was already guiding the Stardancer towards the Gobi Desert, her enhanced senses pinpointing the exact location of the ancestral key. As they touched down amidst the swirling sands, she saw a familiar figure waiting for them. Victor. Alexis gasped as she exited the ship. Her old mentor stood before a shimmering portal, looking exactly as she remembered him. Hello, Alexis, Victor smiled warmly. I knew you'd figure it out eventually, but I'm afraid we don't have much time for reunions. The sky above them darkened as Voidborn ships descended. From their midst emerged a towering figure, its form constantly shifting and writhing as if it couldn't decide on a single shape. I am Null, Voidborn Prime, the being's voice echoed across the desert. Surrender the ancestral key, or watch your world burn. Victor stepped forward, his eyes blazing with defiance. The key was never here, Null. It was within humanity all along, their potential, their creativity, their indomitable spirit. Alexis felt a surge of understanding. She raised her hand, channeling the power of the harmonic seed. The air around them began to shimmer and vibrate. You're right, Victor, she said, her voice resonating with newfound power. And now it's time to unlock that potential. With a gesture, Alexis sent out a pulse of energy that spread across the globe. Every human on Earth felt a sudden jolt, an awakening of latent abilities they never knew they possessed. All around the world, ordinary people found themselves doing extraordinary things. A teacher in Mumbai suddenly understood every language. A farmer in Kansas developed the ability to control the weather. A child in Rio de Janeiro began to manipulate gravity with a thought. "What have you done?" Noel roared, its form destabilizing further. "I've given humanity the tools to defend itself," Alexis replied calmly. The ancestral key wasn't a physical object, it was the next step in human evolution, and you've just forced us to take it. As the empowered humans began to fight back against the void-born invasion, Alexis turned to Victor and ARIA. "Now," she said, her eyes gleaming with determination, "let's finish what we started." Victor nodded, gesturing towards the shimmering portal. "The Nexus Forge awaits. It's time to assemble the resonance engine and face our destiny." As they stepped through the portal, leaving the chaos of battle behind, Alexis felt a sense of both trepidation and exhilaration. The final act of this cosmic drama was about to unfold, and the fate of not just Earth, but all of reality hung in the balance. The Nexus Forge loomed before them, a massive structure defying the laws of physics, suspended in the heart of a quantum singularity. Here, at the crossroads of all possible realities, they would make their stand. Alexis Chen, once a struggling physicist, now the harmonic conduit and humanity's greatest hope, took a deep breath. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she was ready to face them. The ultimate chess game for the fate of the cosmos had reached its endgame, and she intended to emerge victorious. Symphonic convergence. The Nexus Forge pulsed with otherworldly energy as Alexis, Victor, and ARIA materialized on its central platform. The structure defied comprehension, its architecture a mind-bending fusion of organic curves and impossible geometries. All around them, alternate realities flickered like feathered dreams, each one a potential future hanging in the balance. "Welcome to the crossroads of existence," Victor said, his voice filled with awe. "Here, at the heart of the quantum singularity, we'll assemble the resonance engine and decide the fate of all realities." Alexis felt the harmonic seed's power surging within her, resonating with the cosmic energies swirling around them. "I can feel it," she whispered. "Every possibility, every timeline, they're all converging here." Aria's holographic form shimmered into existence beside them. "We must act quickly. The Voidborn won't be far behind, and Null will stop at nothing to prevent us from activating the engine." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the forge. Reality itself seemed to shudder as a massive Voidborn warship tore through the fabric of spacetime, emerging into the singularity. "Impossible," Victor gasped. "Nothing should be able to penetrate the quantum barrier." Alex's eyes narrowed as she focused her enhanced senses on the ship. "They're using the chaos they've sown on Earth to destabilize the barriers between realities. We're out of time." With a gesture, Alexis summoned the components of the resonance engine they gathered on their journey. The harmonic seed pulsed in harmony with the alien technologies, each piece falling into place as if guided by an invisible hand. "Victor, ARIA," Alexis commanded, her voice ringing with authority. "I need you to buy me time. Use the Forge's defenses to hold off the Voidborn while I complete the final calibrations." As Victor and ARIA raced to the Forge's control center, Alexis poured her consciousness into the assembling engine. Her mind expanded, touching the very fabric of the multiverse. She saw countless alternate versions of herself, each one facing this moment in their own reality. With a thought, she reached out to them all. Together, Alexis's voice echoed across dimensions. "We can rewrite the cosmic song." Across 1,000,000 realities, 1,000,000 Alexis Chens answered the call. Their combined knowledge and experiences flowed into her, guiding her hands as she made the final adjustments to the resonance engine. Outside, chaos reigned. The Voidborn warship disgorged waves of reality-warping monstrosities. Victor and AOIA fought valiantly, using the Forge's quantum weapons to hold the line. But with each passing moment, the defenses weakened. Suddenly, a massive form materialized on the platform. Null, the Voidborn Prime, had arrived. Its body was a writhing mass of contradictions, simultaneously there and not there, a living embodiment of cosmic entropy. You cannot stop the inevitable, Null's voice boomed, shaking the very foundations of reality. The multiverse craves chaos. It yearns for dissolution. We are merely the instruments of its will. Alexis stood firm, the nearly completed resonance engine humming behind her. You're wrong, Null. The universe doesn't crave chaos or order. It craves balance, and we're here to restore it. With a roar of defiance, Null launched itself at Alexis. But before it could reach her, a shimmering barrier sprang into existence. The air filled with melodic tones as beings of pure energy materialized around them. The Valorians, HFY gasped in awe. They've come to our aid. As the Valorians engaged Null and its forces, buying precious seconds, Alexis turned back to the resonance engine. With a final burst of inspiration, she realized what was missing. It's not just about the technology, she murmured. It's about the spark of life, the power of choice. Alexis placed her hand on the engine's core, channeling not just the harmonic seed's power, but her own humanity, her hopes, her fears, her dreams. The engine blazed to life, resonating with a song that echoed across all of creation. Reality itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, with a burst of light that outshone suns, the resonance engine activated. Waves of harmonic energy pulsed outward, touching every corner of the multiverse. Alexis felt herself stretched across infinite realities, her consciousness expanding to encompass all of existence. She saw the grand tapestry of the cosmos, each thread a life, a world, a possibility. And she began to weave. With the precision of a master artist and the care of a loving parent, Alexis reshaped reality. She didn't erase the chaos or impose rigid order. Instead, she sought balance, allowing for both growth and decay, joy and sorrow, creation and destruction. The Voidborn, creatures born of pure entropy, found themselves transformed. Their chaotic energy was not destroyed, but repurposed, becoming the fertile soil from which new possibilities could grow. Null, faced with this cosmic restructuring, let out a final defiant roar before dissipating into motes of light that scattered across newborn galaxies. As the wave of change swept across the multiverse, Alexis felt herself being pulled back, her expanded consciousness returning to her human form. She collapsed to her knees, gasping for breath, overwhelmed by the experience. Victor and Aoia rushed to her side, their faces filled with concern and awe. Alexis, Victor breathed. What did you do? Alexis looked up, her eyes shimmering with the light of newborn stars. I rewrote the cosmic song, she said softly. Not to end conflict or erase difference, but to ensure that there will always be balance, always be hope. As the energies of the resonance engine settled, the Nexus Forge began to stabilize. The chaotic flickers of alternate realities coalesced into a harmonious cosmic dance. Aeria's holographic form pulsed with excitement. The multiverse, it's heaving itself. Realities that were once in conflict are now in harmony. You've done it, Alexis. You've saved creation itself. Victor helped Alexis to her feet, his eyes brimming with pride. I always knew you were destined for greatness, but this is beyond anything I could have imagined. As they stood there, marveling at the new cosmic order, a shimmering portal opened beside them. Through it, they could see Earth, no longer under siege, but bathed in a soft, golden light. It's time to go home, Alexis said, a tired but satisfied smile on her face. Our work here is done. As they stepped through the portal, leaving the Nexus Forge behind, Alexis knew that their adventure was far from over. The multiverse was vast, full of wonders and challenges yet to be discovered. But now, thanks to the resonance engine and the power of human potential, there would always be balance, always be hope. Alexis Chen, once a struggling physicist, now the harmonic conduit and savior of the multiverse, took a deep breath of Earth's familiar air. Whatever the future held, she was ready to face it, not just as a guardian of cosmic harmony, but as an explorer, a scientist, and above all, a human being with an unquenchable thirst for knowledge and adventure. The cosmic chess game had reached its conclusion, but the grand symphony of existence played on, its melody richer and more beautiful than ever before.